Here you can, I was thinking that we don't have any citrus in Canada, so this is not citrus is mostly for North America. And here you have for Canada and USA some number about these commodities. So you will have the presentation. And here, if we look at the organic greenhouse horticulture, so my main research area is greenhouse organic horticulture. So just some numbers. So you can see that in North America, we produce about 27% of the total organic greenhouse crops. And I did include Mexico because it's part of the NAFTA, and for us it's, they are part of North America. So some numbers. So in Mexico, they have almost 2,000 hectares of organic greenhouse vegetables. And for the field vegetables is about 46,000, more than 46,000 hectares. And it's mostly in low-tech greenhouses. And in USA, they have 186 hectares of greenhouse vegetables, and this includes also high tunnels, low-tech greenhouses. And you can see the most important crop is tomatoes, sweet pepper, and herbs, and also other type of vegetables. And it's mainly produces in the west state of USA, in California, Oregon. And here in not here, but in Canada. So in Canada, we produce only about 90 hectares of greenhouse vegetables, and in mainly, the most important province is Quebec, BC, and in Ontario. So this represents about 6%, I think so, of the total greenhouse area. Yeah. So, and now some words about the Canadian organic regulation. So this, we have a standard since June 2009, and it's under the umbrella of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. And we have the certification, verification body, certification body, and you have the growers. And this was to promote the trade between countries, but also between provinces. And what is quite weird is in Canada, there is only 5 provinces who have organic standard. So Ontario, where it's the most important province, they don't have any standard for organic if they stay in their own market. If they go to sell in other province or export their product, they have to get the Canadian logo. So, and for the Canadian organic regulation, so as you have in a European country, we have standards for the management, so the general principle and management standard, and we have a list of substances that we can use or we cannot use. And this has been just reviewed in 2015, and it was amended in March 2018. So this year, last March, they just get this new, and we have to review the new regulation by 2020. So, a lot of discussion going on. And as you know, or as you find in a European country, the general principle of organic production is the principle of health, ecology, fairness, care. And here you have a list of, quick list of prohibited substances that we cannot use. Of course, genetic engineering. We can use nanotechnology, sewage, sludge, synthetic grow regulator, or any synthetic compounds that go as an input. And it's true for pesticide, fertilizer, and so on. Any substance that is not on the list of the standards. So, and we have equivalency with USA, European Union, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Japan, and discussion is going on actually with Mexico and South Korea. And now we are agreeing with the NAFTA agreement, which the president actually in USA, so it's tough, and we don't know what will go out of that agreement, or even if we will still have an agreement. So, and USA, they have a task force on the best practice guide, because they want to reduce or mitigate the risk and occurrence of organic fraud, because they had some conflict about that. So now, in terms of research, what's going on in Canada to support the organic industry, Canadian industry? So since 2009, the federal government put some money for researchers to work and to do research with the industry. So we had the first organic science cluster, and that we had almost 9 million for that, and it's spread around the Canada. And now we just completed the second organic cluster, and the aim of that cluster is to increase and support the Canadian scientific capacity in organic agriculture, linking scientists with stakeholders and maximizing the impact of organic science through knowledge transfer. And for the two first cluster, we had funded projects related to animal welfare, innovative processing solutions, sustainable pest management strategy, and optimizing productivity. And I was really involved in both clusters with several projects going on. And here just a list of all projects that were conducted during the cluster 2, so just ending this spring. And on field crops, you can have on horticultural crops. So, oh, what's going on here? And so I was involved in a project on semi-closed greenhouses, how to improve the vegetable quality of the greenhouse product, because we found out that sometimes it's lower than conventional one, and consumers expect really good and healthy product. We were also working with ornamentals crops, so how to develop growing system to get ornamental organic product, and also on the nutraceutical compound of hope, because we want to use hope as an extract for the health product. And also on pest management, and I had a project on silicone, how to control a powdery mildew with strawberry, and we also use for cucumber and hope. And also another project, how to take all the waste food and vegetable waste from the grocery, from the industry, and extract the nutraceutical compound and to add as a food content for juice or any type of product. So now here is we are going to get a third cluster. So it's not approved yet, but it will be released soon. So we think that during the coming months we will have some news about that. And here is the list of the projects that have been proposed on field crops, horticultural crops, and you can see that I have a project on organic vertical farming. So this it's we will see, but it's an issue that the people in Canada will talk about to get the organic label for plant factories. So this is a huge debate that will come. And also the hygienists. So, and here you have for crop pests, livestock, and environmental goals and services. So you have the name, the detail, the title of the project. So now if we have a quick look of the main contentious input in Canada or subject. So the one that it's to prevent contamination. So as you know, Canada is a big fan of GMO. So we are the 5th largest producer of GMO, and we have really a problem. It's really a problem of contamination, even though we have buffer zone between the field of organic or conventional crops. We have to reevaluate this buffer zone, because we have to define also the contamination that it's allowed in organic product, because there is contamination. So, so we will discuss about this threshold for the next standard revision process. Also, how we can define synthetic. When we use an input in our system, growing system, what is synthetic? Is it a substance that is just extract, or a substance that is identical to the natural substance, but you make it in the lab? And the people or the producer now, they are difficulty to find input that the traceability can prove that there is no synthetic product. So because in Canada they are really strict. So when you add an input in your system, they look all the way and to see if there is if it's fit with the Canadian standard. So the question will be, should we relax this norm to be more competitive with USA and Mexico, that they don't apply these strict rules. Parallel production is also an issue, because in USA they can have a field, a conventional field close to the organic field with the same owner. In Canada, if a same producer wants to have conventional and organic crops, the crops should be different. So if it's tomato, they can grow conventionally beef tomato, but he will have to grow cherries tomato. So it should be obvious. But if you go to the field crop, it's not so easy to find. So sometimes it's really a barrier for growers that want to switch to organic, but they want to do not too slowly to manage the risk. So this is really important. For greenhouse productions, the big issue is plant factory cultivation without the solar radiation. So there is a lobby actually that want to produce in that direction, and because it's cold in Canada, they want to supply all year round with organic product, and they want to be competitive on that. And so this is going on as well. Hydroponic growing system, it's not allowed in Canada, but it's allowed in the USA. So it's not fair for Canadians that sell their tomatoes on the US market. So you have to be more competitive. And in Canada, it's allowed to grow in containers, but you need to have at least 60 liters per square meter of growing media or soil. And you have to give fertilizer, organic amendment as you do for the soil. So the soil or the growing media should feed the plants. It's not allowed to give too much. Well, you can give liquid organic fertilizer, but only if you are in the deficiency side. So growers do for potassium sulfate or something like that, but not for nitrate. You don't give. And if you compare to USA, they gave full of chili nitrate in their crops. So there is argument for that as well. Aquaculture producers is a big issue. They will join the organic standard, and because of their system, so the lettuce that they will grow with the fish that is grown organically, if actually they cannot get the organic label because it's hydroponic. So there is a huge debate about that, if we should accept that or not. Permitted substance, as I told you before, the problem is to really know the process that the input have been made. So, and sometimes manufacturers refuse to reveal their process. So it's really difficult to get an input approved by the Canadian regulation. So the question is if we have to be more flexible on that as well. Biodegradable modules is also a big issue in Canada. So because now it's just the plastic one that it's allowed because there is no acceptable biodegradable mulches for Canadian regulation. So growers have to remove after each season their plastic in the field, and you'll get soil, it's messy, and what you're doing with that after that. So it's really a big issue, and it was banned since 2017, yeah. Issue with USA, as I told you, chili and nitrate that they are using and we are not. Hydroponics is prohibited in Canada, but it's okay in USA. Parallel production, that there is not so much big deal for them, but for us it's really a big deal. It's really difficult. And the conformity of inputs manufacturing process, so the input, that should be 100% in agreement with our all the standard organic standard process. Now some challenge that for Canadian organic producers have to face. So it's the new Safe Food for Canadian regulation. So now the organic one was not part of that because they already had standards. So but now everyone will have to get this certification, and even though for the storage facility and for the transport. So this it's really challenging because it's not all of them that will accept to get this organic standard, like for trucks and things like that. Also, when they have restrictor, the Canadian Organic Office within the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the Canadian Organic Office has been removed from the organization chart of the office. So this is a big problem because nobody was there to answer questions and to support our sector. So there is discussion now going on to be sure that the organic sector will be covered by the Canadian government. Also, the consistency and permanent funding for the Canadian organic standards. As well, in Canada, it's the growers. The industry has to pay for the revision of the standards, while in European country and USA, every country, the government support their own regulation standards. But in Canada, they want the growers to pay, the producers to pay for that. And this is really a problem. And we have to review the standards every 5 years. If not, the regulation just it's not there anymore. So now we need $1 million to review, and we find part of that funding. But yeah, and we hope to be able by September to start the project, the review process, because we have to have the full review by 2020. Now, the main challenge is data collection. So the government doesn't collect any data. So, and there is a lack of data for the industry, and this is a real barrier for the expansion of the industry. Reliable access to abattoir for the animal industry is a key limiting factor as well. Risk involved with transitional from non-conventional, non-organic to organic production, so there is no support at all from the industry. And in the USA, the main challenge that they have is concerned the animal welfare standard. So they delayed this standards, and now it's really a problem for the organic producer in USA. because they need that standards. And here is just a quick overview of the research that I have conducted in relation to your consensus input, like in replacement of peat. We did some work on biochar as a soil amendment, so to see if we can remove good proportion of peat in our growing media. So, and we did conduct on 3 years project, and we had a really good result that biochar was really good for the soil activity. Also, it was really important to reduce the leaching, the nitrate leaching in our growing system. And we had this trials for different type of soil, real soil, and also growing media. And also we have looking at the effect of biochar on the microbial activity and population diversity in our system. And we find that 15% biochar is really good for our greenhouse growing tomatoes or sweet pepper or crops. Also, we are working on mineralization rate model to be sure that we will provide the fertilizer that we need, and also to better understand and to reduce our footprint, production footprint as well. And also we look at the organic nitrogen uptake. What is the proportion in terms of uptake if you compare to mineral, and it's always in the way to improve our growing system and to reduce the input and to be in balance with the plant needs and the soil mineralization rate. And also because it's a huge debate if it's organic to grow in soil or in containers, so because it's like soilless growing media. And in USA in last November, they had, well, for 2 years, more than 2 years, they had a huge debate if they have to prohibit hydroponics and go back to the soil. And in the 3rd of November, last November, they decided to keep their standard as it is. So it's allowed, and it will be allowed again to grow in hydroponic system. And for that, the people in the National Organic Standard Board of USA did ask me a technical report on the difference between the microbial activity in the growing media, well, this container growing system, and the soil. And we did collect soil in growing media and soil in, well, sorry, in real soil in Mexico and Canada. And we find out, yeah, have the result, but I won't go through. But we found out that microbial diversity is good as in soil, but we cannot make large generation, but the main impact was the way you manage your cropping system. And it was not if it's coming from Mexico, Canada, it's really the way the input that you add that will influence your soil activity and diversity. And also we are conducted a study now on the health soil substrate, well, how to have a suppressive soil and to get a healthy plants. So we work on different aspects of that, and of course we use biostimulant, and we want to promote plant resilience and also quality of the product. So we are looking nutrient management, nutrient model, water management, and quality as well, and quality also in terms of using artificial lighting. So of course in greenhouse we use now LEDs, and the LEDs we have shown that it could improve a lot the quality of the fruit. And so even though it's like artificial, but it's in greenhouse, so we also have a natural lighting. So we are looking on soil microbiome as well to improve quality, the product quality, but also plant resilience, and also all the interaction between genetic, environmental, and management interaction in terms of plant productivity and quality, because you need a quality product if you want consumer to to like your organic fruit and vegetables. So it's quick overview, and so at the end of that, I can there is some result we can put on the website, and it's a summary of all experiment. Whoops, but. The one that is quite new, it's this microbial population and diversity and all the impact on the phylum and the species, the grow medium, if you compare to soil. And so you can, it's not published yet, I will, but it's not. But if you don't diffuse too much, it will be okay to get it. So that's it. So any question? I was quite long. Huh? I'm sorry.